I've been pushing Rosen as a topic last week. I had an epiphany. I've been watching him, and I don't know what brought me on to watch him. And I've been watching a lot of Kellen Mond and Kyle Trask, and I'm like, oh wait, this guy was definitely the 10th pick for a reason. I mean, you can see it. You can see it all the time. And my question is, what do you think of Josh Rosen? I've never really talked to you about him. What do you think of him coming out? And what do you think of the fact that the NFL just totally turned their back on him in a way that they haven't and won't for Sam Darnold, who has been linked to Rosen forever? I mean, they played in the same city. They were in the same draft class, all that.
All right. Full disclosure, huge Josh Rosen fan, was a huge Josh Rosen fan before he came out of college. Okay, so I might not have all objectivity here, though I've grown to get more objective with the Josh Rosen situation, because sometimes reality just slaps you in the face. And as much as you want Josh Rosen to be what I thought he was going to be, he's not. And, and to just touch on the Darnold conversation really quick, Darnold is more physically gifted than him. I was wrong because I thought Rosen was better than Darnold. So
in what sense is he more physically gifted?
He just moves much better, and that movement is so important.
Yeah. His legs, yes, but not his arm.
So here's my thoughts. No, I don't think he has a bigger arm than Rosen. No. Though I think he has better arm flexibility than Rosen, more platforms. But
fair.
Rosen is really old school from the sense that he's a really old school pocket passer with great feet, great release, great pocket movement. Kind of, he always stays on platform to throw, and he's got a beautiful throwing motion. Always throws spirals, throws with a ton of touch and accuracy. Has a good deep ball. He's really old school, and I think that's why people compared him to Matt Ryan and Eli Manning coming out, and I think he's actually more of a natural thrower than Matt Ryan. I think Eli is probably the best comp in terms of his throwing, but.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in Josh Rosen. I thought his first game, if you go back and watch it, his first ever start for Arizona against Seattle, it's been all downhill in his career since then. But that first start, he looked like a guy who could be a franchise quarterback. He played outstanding in that game. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to go back and watch it, but there were a couple throws to Ricky Seals-Jones, one on a 7 route on a corner, and one that was a seam ball that maybe the top 12, top 13 guys in the NFL make those type throws. It was really special. So he looked awesome then, and it's been all downhill since then. And I like the idea that you threw out. I like the idea that he was taken 10th overall 3 years ago, and the question with him has always been, I think the last time he was brought up, we talked about how there was a report when he came out of Arizona. Some writer wrote a story about how Josh Rosen was already talking about going back to UCLA and studying physics or studying astrophysics. And people that turned people off because they weren't sure about his commitment. I don't know how you can question his commitment at this point, because he's a 10th overall pick who comes from money, and he's endured sitting in a practice squad in Tampa Bay. Then he took the job, got on a flight to San Francisco to be CJ Beathard's backup and not take a snap for 2 games. And
it seems like he's answering every question that they have. Right. I mean, you say I'm this, watch how committed I am. Yeah.
Right. He seems to be totally committed. And if there's one offense that he could work in, this is the offense. This is the only offense in the NFL that suits his skill set, because when you don't move that well in today's NFL, you can't play shotgun, spread offense. You got to be in an
And that's what they had him in Miami in particular. But can I say something real quick? When they say he can't move, I mean, he's not Sam Darnold, but he's not Jimmy G either. He's not post-ACL Jimmy G. When I watch him, he actually moves okay. He's not Aaron Rodgers, but he's not straight-up Phillip Rivers either. That's all I'm going to say.
No, he's not totally immobile. I think the thing with Josh Rosen is that even though he didn't run a slow 40, and athletically he's not slow per se, but he doesn't offer much in terms of, okay, the play's not there, let me run out and throw a ball because there's nothing here and run outside of the pocket.
That's not his game.
He's not trained to play that way, and he can't do that. And
he's more like Kirk Cousins.
Right, and I think that his journey would be unprecedented at this point if he actually becomes a starter, and if he's anything but a bust or a career backup. But I do think there's enough there where if Kyle Shanahan likes him, he's supposed to be really smart, so he should be able to digest this offense. I don't see why not. What's the harm in keeping him on as a backup? At least you have a highly talented player backing up whoever's the starter next year.
I mean, he's like Mac Jones is going to be 23 in September.
He's 23.
Josh Rosen's 23 now. I mean, Yeah, it didn't go so well from early on. It didn't go well for Steve Young early on. This guy was on terrible teams. He was on terrible team in college. It'd be kind of interesting to see if like he makes his team as a backup and he gets an opportunity to play midseason because of because Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt and plays well. How quickly would the narrative change around with the perception of him change?
Yeah,
be like,
of course.
Oh, well, maybe he wasn't on a good team.
Of course, because
my question to you is, why have people given up on him? Is it his personality?
I have no clue. It really beats me. It really beats me because when you see a guy throw the ball the way he throws it, usually those guys, like he's pure. He's pure. He's like Carson Palmer. It's so pure when he throws the ball. So when you throw the ball that pure, it's usually people give you chances just because you can throw the ball like that. And Arizona didn't work out, and taking Kyler Murray was 100% the right decision for them. But when he went to Miami, right? It felt like Miami, it was just, okay, if he shows us something exceptional, then we got something. But we're not really committed to him.
We're not even committed to him.
Right. And, okay, yeah, he didn't beat out Ryan Fitzpatrick and all of that. And Chad O'Shea runs the New England offense, which is documented to take a long time for quarterbacks to digest because the verbiage is different. Well, Tua didn't really beat out Ryan Fitzpatrick this year. It just pays to be the number 5 overall pick that the franchise is trying to boost up, So a lot of roll him out and dump it off here, roll him out, dump it off here. Josh Rosen didn't get as many of those easy completions. And I'm not going to sit here and mince words. Josh Rosen also played terrible in Miami. Yeah, he played a lot worse than Ryan Fitzpatrick. But just because he played that terrible and everything doesn't mean that you just totally give up on the guy. Maybe there's something there. And I think that it's in Kyle Shanahan's best interest to at least keep him on as a third-string quarterback if he's constantly working and improving, and see if you can get something out of him. Because he's probably, in terms of just gifts right now, I think he might be the most gifted quarterback on this team, even more than Jimmy.
You don't have to say Mike. He is the most physically gifted. I'll say it. He is the most physically gifted quarterback on the team, and it's evident right away when you watch the film. Now, as we've pointed out, not everything with quarterbacks is your skill set. I mean, look at Brady. Some of it, there's other things. There's leadership, there's smarts, and I think the deal with Rosen, if we're being honest, is his personality. It's pretty clear that teams have looked at him as being weird. That's the word. Like, he's a little too, I don't know, like he's not the classic NFL franchise quarterback personality. He's not that classic CEO type. He's a little bit too much of a free thinker. He's a little bit too opinionated. He's a little bit too Jewish. I mean, he's just not, he doesn't look the part. And he may not play well in an NFL locker room. Maybe he doesn't have a bunch of people pulling for him the way Jimmy G does. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he just doesn't relate well to teammates. Who knows what it is?
Nobody knows. It's a total mystery, and we haven't gotten that bombshell, right? I thought after Arizona moved off him, we would get a bombshell on why they didn't like Josh Rosen, why they traded him. We didn't get that. We just got a couple reports saying, he talked about astrophysics. They're not 100% sure, but ultimately Cliff just wanted Kyler. That was it. Then Miami,
Andrew Luck talk about stuff like that though?
Yeah. So, and Miami, you didn't really get that either. So I have no clue what the Josh Rosen story is. But as a Josh Rosen fan, when he was in college, like I hope it works out for him. And if it's going to work out, this is the place. And if it doesn't work out here, then that's it. That's all she wrote for Josh Rosen's career.
That's right. This is the best. This is a great opportunity for him. And I think he's taking it seriously. I'd like to see the Niners take him seriously as well. And the fact that they just signed him, they made it official today, is a good sign. And it's another indication that they watch our show. Good choice, good taste.
And one more thing, even though he played terrible in Miami, if you actually want to go back and chart him play by play, there are a few deep balls in there that are really, really, really beautiful throws that he makes. I think he made 2 to Preston Williams. I think the Dallas game, he made 3 or 4 that 2 were dropped, I want to say. They dropped
the whole game against the Chargers, he played well. The whole game
the Chargers game was his best game of the season prior. But ultimately, we'll see. I'm hoping. I'm pulling for Josh Rosen.
He's 3 years older than you. I will be very interested to see.